Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Loki Orn, and we're back in Kingdoms, diving into the sluice here. As it's been for the last few episodes, we're still in the block of recording I did. I did like 2.5, 3 hours of recording, not realizing that my mic was not picking up any of it. So you're stuck with voiceover, Loki Orn, but that's okay. We're in the sluice. This zone, it's kind of nice to see it so much. Like, we actually get to, navigate it fairly frequently. And I wonder if part of the, someday when I do my second, Kingdoms run, like when we go through this again, I might end up spending even more time down here, like just kind of bopping between those three. We do get a stew proc finally. I was complaining about that last episode. So we do have a stew proc, and hope everyone's doing well as we dive in here. I'd love to get a buff, and I do realize, can go from Damien, get something out of it, and it's Swine Skiver. So everyone, you know what to do. Comment section down below. Give us your best.
Incremental.
What?
But deadly all the same.
As Swine Skiver begins to rearrange my face. What indeed, sir? And as if to further compound my pain and suffering here, we do have the zone event that everybody gets a nice little blind token to lead off, which is just the worst.
This is no time to falter.
But we do have the chance here with some AoE to get rid of all the dodges. But it does mean that we're going to have to tank some more Swine Skiver activations, which is not my favorite thing in the world. And we're dealing with a runaway that now is
agony.
I think it's currently 40%. 40% fatigue, which is awful, to say the least. And I spent some time here tanking up, which in retrospect, I don't know if that was the right call. I wonder if instead I should have been trying to focus down the Swine Skiver, because given how hard he can hit.
Well done.
But at least we get to hear what's. However, it is time to bid farewell to the Swine Skiver. What? As if I recall right, I don't think he's long for this world. I think somebody's about to rearrange his face. Yeah. Trust Damien to do it. We just rearrange the Swine Skiver's face a fair bit. And I'm really feeling the not upgraded Inspiring Cry. Just not having that stress, that extra stress healing is super painful. Wish I had that upgraded. Do a Beastman hater, so if we get into a fight with the Beastman, we at least get something out of it. But we gotta survive our current situation here. Good news is this big guy, now that we've kind of gotten everything else under control, the big guy's not so hard to deal with. Though, Nautical Compass, it's a 1 in 5 to get the stress, and seems to happen a lot more than 1 in 5. We do get to Deathless here, which should pick up some of the slack here. And just keep stress healing him. Right now, you'll notice I'm not healing Damien. In retrospect, maybe I should have been just stress healing Damien and using Endure to try to mitigate it. But my thought here was, like, I just need to be okay with Damien melting down and just try to preserve everybody else. And I think, looking back on it, that might be a bit of a mistake. But regardless, first fight down,
will overcome
and we are moving.
of threats.
Sneaker Standard and Moonlight Lantern, they just keep coming back. I think we leave them behind here again, because maybe there's some sort of use case for them. Yeah, the Moonlight Lantern just hasn't felt necessary because none of the zones are long enough to really threaten the torch. And Sneaker's standard, stealth remains a mechanic that not a lot of characters make good use out of. And even the ones that do have other things they can be doing. But here at least, we're punching through these blind tokens with the two characters we really care about that for. Both...
Lenity. Grace.
As long as Bonnie and Paracelsus are punching through the blind tokens, we're relatively okay.
Measure out your violence and apply it judiciously.
But first, we got to get the joy of a dozen filthy morsels thrown at our face.
The fiend's strength dwindles.
So, I had the opportunity there, I just noticed it now. I should have crit fished a bit more. And instead of smiting the corpse, I should have... Typhoid. I should have Zealous Accusation, because that would have given me 2 chances at a stress heal. But, relatively minor optimization. Of the things that are going to matter, I don't think that's it. Now we're just stalling for some extra healing and stress healing. Because this guy's dead to the burn anyway, so why stress about it?
In this weighty gloom,
Another blood in that does 10 end materials. We're starting to stack up the end materials a bit, which is going to be real good if we can get to the other side of this. We're still dealing with some stuff, particularly with Bonnie. And it's going to get worse before it gets better.
A soul so twisted by despair.
Punching through the blinds once again, giving us a fair bit of help. And just spending the glimmers of hope to keep the flame high, so I don't have to worry about it too much.
An opportunity squandered.
And just spamming out that stress heal as much as we can. A stun on Reynold, not good news for us, but we don't have, it's not like we have much choice in the matter. And of course, Nautical Compass being our friend here, and just making sure we constantly gain that stress. And what I was doing there, since it's not as obvious, now that I'm recording this, I was trying to figure out why my Plague Doctor was suddenly hitting for half of what she was before. And I think it was a combination of traits getting shuffled around and the bleed just not landing. Because the bleed does represent like a 15% crit bonus, which is
The enemy weakens
not nothing.
and wanes. A slow dissection. An unavoidable end.
And, finally the bleed lands, which is pretty relevant.
Steady.
And now it's a matter of, once again, kind of stalling out the process here. We do want to make sure the big guy goes down. I don't want to stall this any longer than I have to. But we do have kind of the amusing thing here that Endure plus Inspiring Cry is basically it's -1 stress net, but it concentrates all the stress onto the Flagellant, which is preferable. And there we pick up Locked Strongbox, which is a pretty nice pickup for us. Just a big charge of relics. We'll end up using all those, though. If I recall right, we don't end up keeping the locked box because it ultimately, like, there's plenty of opportunities to spend your money. And it didn't feel like you want to spend you don't really want to spend a stagecoach item on capacity. Like, you'd much rather be generating like more poultices, more food, more like other items that are of use. Now, unfortunately, we have, you know, sort of an awful choice here where Paracelsus doesn't want to fight, and that's sort of a problem for us. Not really a great way to do this, but if we're going to do that, we may as well fight with an advantage. And Swineskiver's back, so I hope we'll get a double what in the comments down below.
Hold fast, for who knows what lurks in the beyond.
And we get the joys of a stun. What? And unfortunately, we've been punching through the. We've had some good luck punching through the dodge tokens there in the blinds, but unfortunately our luck ran out at a sort of an inappropriate time. We do get a bit lucky with the move there, but then Meltdown, sending our relationships even lower. You know, pretty painful that, but at least it's on the Flagellant. And we do manage to land that critical hit to basically turn, you know, end the Swineskiver.
Take heart and do not relent. There is comfort in company.
And once again, we basically just have to start up the process here, trying to mitigate stress as much as we can. But boy, is it tough.
The fiend's strength dwindles.
And we're left. At least we managed to take that swine down this round, so we're a little bit better off.
A little help in
Patch up yourselves here. I think it's around now. I think I may have noticed this previously, but I finally kind of put 2 and 2 together that fatigue counts as missing HP. So it's kind of in an amusing way, like being fatigued makes you a target for heals, even if you can't actually recover the HP, which is a little bit silly. And here, just being a little bit clever. If you have a stealthed enemy and there is no other targets on the map, you can target them, because like basically they're not gonna. The game doesn't seem to be designed to make you skip if there's literally no other choice for there's no other target. And there's Moonlight Lantern again. It's just, no, Moonlight Lantern, go away. Nobody likes you. Actually, I don't know that that's true. I'm sure there are people that like it, people that believe in it. I just don't.
An elementary problem, is it not?
And we keep riding. You know, we're making good time through this sluice and getting some good, good unlock or items. But we are having to fight our way through it, which is not the worst. We did want as many in items as we could get.
This is no time to falter. An opportunity squandered.
And there we are again, punching through that blind token. Quite nice to land that plane. We do miss with Firefly, but that does set up Punish to get us going.
Stumbling
and another stun. Into Skitter. Skitter can be so annoying. do have this big guy to deal with, so gotta start ticking him down. Not a lot else to say in this fight as we, just kind of beat them down. Now we're picking up bad humors, like we're having a sort of miserable time from from both a stress management and a disease management standpoint. Not a lot to be done about that. And I do see that to get rid of this guy, I do need to hit him one more time with Acid Rain, so we do so.
An unavoidable end.
And now we get to do a little bit of healing. Deathless and Cauterize, just kind of patching people up.
Stupendous.
Dude does get another turn, unfortunately, but at least it's a relatively small hit. Though that stress is pretty problematic. But now we get to stall out just a bit more. And here I can't remember. I think our stress heal is up. So I think we take the opportunity to just stall it out completely. Chip away at some stress and then win.
Persistence will overcome even the greatest of threats.
Another 10 items here, and we keep grinding. But you can see, like, you imperil our chances of victory down to 4 out of 10. We do get another invigorating stew proc, and then into the Swine's Cache. And this was I remember this was a sweet Swine's Cache. Healing salves, food, good stuff to pick up. Unfortunately, Sneaker Standard is back again. Just, it's convinced I want it, and it's wrong. Iron Brazier came back, and we discard it once again. I keep Boundless Vanity, mostly because I do want to, I did want to see if I got another lair encounter in the Tundra. And here we had something I wasn't expecting, so this is, I think, caused by this being the escalation day. So we end up with a Beastman encounter, even though this isn't a besieged inn. But looking back on it, this is actually kind of a benefit to me, in theory. Because this whole crew has Beastman taken. So these guys are pretty good at fighting the Beastmen. And they get stress heals whenever they kill Beastmen. So it's a pretty good situation. However, we do have Bonnie just getting hammered on, which is not good. And is unfortunately just a byproduct of her being in rank 4 and having the twin Berserker guys just being in the back here. And here is where I alluded to this earlier, but I think this is when I actually made the observation that even when they're Berserk, they get increased debuff resistance, but they are not immune to picking up new dots. So, it's an opportunity, especially with the Runaway, who, jeez, just another huge hit. That 40% fatigue, just leaving her with not a lot of recourse. I contemplate healing her and then decide to get a bit greedy. Basically the problem is that when the Axe guys are in the rear rank, the only thing they can do is throw their axe at basically rank 4. And here, another nice clean end to the fight here.
Cleared with impunity.
Definitely the right squad to be dealing with that. And we get 20 in items out of that, which is pretty nice.
The inn stands sturdier than it once was.
Bunch of freaking things.
But will it be enough? The distant bleating
Yep.
draws
So
ever
escalation,
closer.
escalation surge,
beasts are
and
on
now
the
now a problem kind of emerges for me. So the two inns over there are fine. I have enough heroes over there, and I think those inns are upgraded. But I do have that inn up there, and I can't go both directions here. The Preacher's Blight needs help, and I don't have any heroes realistically in position to help. And the truth is, even if I did, I've never visited that inn. That inn's never been upgraded. You know, at least when I look over here at the Tranquil Frog, you know, I can sort of gamble that those characters will be okay.
Distribute your champions judiciously.
But that inn is defenseless, so I do need to do something about that. The Rich Patrician has 3, and I wonder if that might be good enough. Because I can't go there and protect the other inn, so I have to let that one go, and I can't rush any heroes there. So I have to head back to the camp and then up. And here's where I make a pretty poor choice, though it wasn't obvious at the time. Or I guess I don't make the choice yet, but I will soon. So I am going to upgrade this inn, just to give it a bit more healing potential. You know, Mastery Trainer's full, so this is a Mastery Trainer one. And we just dump, I just dump some stuff into here.
For tonight, at least.
Just the full kind of package here. I do save 40.
Can be taught.
I do save some items for later.
Stand just a little taller
And I have
at
9
the
mastery
end.
points to spend here, and I kind of wonder about what we're gonna do. The fatigue is really out of hand, but I don't have any way to like deal with it. So what I do, dump 3 into Damien, 3 into Reynold, and 3 into Paracelsus, I believe. Now, in retrospect, I probably should have given something to Bonnie, because she's my worst off. Look at her; she has 14 effective HP right now, just getting crushed here. But ultimately, my thought was that I was going to leave Bonnie behind.
Precious relics remind us of a time before the end.
Like the intent was to leave Bonnie behind. But I do have, 133 relics, so I do have the opportunity to just kind of spend down here, grab up a bunch of resources. Whiskey flask, boxing gloves, speed bag, stale breads, pyrotechnic dazzlers, like just grabbing stuff that I can wallop into characters. And try to get their relationships more in the right direction. Because it's gonna be real ugly for a bit here, and I check in here as like, oh, is there any way for me to recover fatigue? But there is not, because the fatigue comes from the upgrade, I believe, or maybe it's only the field hospitals in zone. But I do manage to at least clean off some diseases.
Your coach must be maintained if it is to carry
Fix
you
up
where
my
you
wagon.
must go.
And I remember now, like, and now I'm kind of like figuring like, okay, I can send heroes here. I can send heroes here to both rest and recover, but also be in a position to spend mastery points when I pick them up. And I'm kind of strategizing now, like, oh, that's how I'll do this. I'll try to consolidate my heroes and then like kind of upgrade them and then let them ride out. Not sure if that's the right call, but finally here, just spending a small amount of relics just to try to get some HP up. Can't dump Bonnie. Nothing to be done. Or at least I don't want to drop Bonnie. So without a whole lot of other options, we'll finish up on the kingdom layer here, where I think I'm sort of committing to the plan here. I do recognize that Hellion Occultist Vestal is not a particularly good defensive mission, but it's going to have to be good enough because the Rich Patrician, again, just doesn't have any upgrades, but at least I have heroes there to try to hold the inn. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Mud and rain, resignation and death. This land is truly barren.